Hey there, Ray from Bridge Marina. I'm doing another walkthrough review on this Starcraft GX22 Sport. It's a new model, a new lineup by Starcraft in 2025, and I have to say, I like it. I don't know if it's gonna be for everybody, but I like it. As a boater, as somebody who uses a lot of different boats, I have to say this is a really practical yet sporty all-around pontoon boat. It's nominally about 22 feet in length, and I'm gonna tell you the beam when I get done, because I want you to just kind of look at the space they have in this boat. I'm gonna go to the aft of this boat, and this is sort of the, I don't know, standard, or one of the things that Starcraft always does is the opposing couches. And when I sit down in this boat, like, I've got a lot of space here, especially between me and whomever be over on the starboard side. The seat backs hit me kind of high, and one of the things I do notice is it is a little bit firmer of seats. Now, they're not thin, they're just firmer. And I can feel that right here. You can see it's about a 3-inch seat. Rather comfortable, hit me high in the back. And I'm 5'10". Those of you who watch my videos, maybe you think 6 foot. No, 5'10". And I've got more than enough space here. And it doesn't matter how I sit, there's just a lot of space. I can easily put 2 or 3 people on this seat, and same on the starboard side. Which means if I look at the stern, I can put somewhere between 4 and 6 people just at the aft side of this boat. I'm gonna go through to my aft deck, and there is a good amount of space, but not too much. They actually, again, this is a 22-foot boat. I've got enough space out here for water sports. I've got enough space to go swim in or to kind of maneuver back here. I do have a ski tow bar on here, so it is set up for water sports. And although not the biggest ladder, everybody who has used this so far has actually liked this ladder, which is, I'm gonna say a more value-oriented ladder, but they love that it actually extends out into the water, has 3 or 4 steps on it, and it's really rather easy to get out of the water at. So it is a nice ladder on it. When we take this thing out for a test ride, one of the things I want you to notice, it has 150 horsepower 4-stroke Mercury on it. So on a 22-foot boat, this thing actually screams. We got it up to about 40 miles an hour, and it is a lot of fun. Let me head back in. And as I do, I'm just gonna walk past the captain and co-captain's chair, which are both high back Helms. They swivel, they go back. They put them at the same area in the boat. So if it's just you and your wife or your spouse, you're always right next to each other and can chat. And when you're in these seats, you can turn and face aft and talk to the crew that's in the back of the boat, or turn and face forward and talk to people in the bow of the boat. And although this one doesn't have the quintessential changing room, they've actually put this at the right length that this is actually just perfect. Put your legs up and hang out. My own cup holder over here as well. Just so you see, I mentioned that these do kick back. So, this is rather comfortable over here in the co-captain's chair. I made this for my height, I guess, in order to kick your feet up. They've really done a great job with it. It does have a door over here on the port side for access. And when I get over to the helm, it is a different looking helm. I gotta give them that. All composite. They've got a storage area underneath, but they've actually recessed it a little bit so that I can actually fit in here, put my feet under there. Chair moves every which direction. I can tuck right in there, tilt steering. There's hydraulic steering on here. As I settle in, it is a less elaborate helm, but I've got everything I need right here. Right in front of me, I've got my Helix 5 GPS, depth finder, fish finder, tack and fuel, trim gauge, as well as my GPS speedo, and all my accessories right at arm's reach. I've driven this thing a couple times, and you're gonna see in the test drive, it is a comfortable boat and fun boat to drive. If you notice here real quick, just as I sit here, hand right on the throttle, right up to the steering wheel, it is a comfortable helm, I gotta be honest. They don't have much here in regards to cup holders. I got one up here for myself. There's not the typical 2 or 3 hanging around, but there is a lot of storage over here for putting my loose gear. Right here we have a throw cushion, throw line, my drone down there. But one of the nice features I liked about this is it's got its own little glove compartment, or sort of large glove compartment and storage in here, as well as places for documentation or if I want to throw my phone, all right under my helm. A little bit different design, but I like it. I'm gonna head a little bit further forward on this to go up to the bow seating area, and similar to the stern, it does fit you up here. Oh, let me pull this removable or relocatable cup holder out of here. And again, 5'10", so that's not so bad. My feet are just touching there. Just like the stern seats, it's hitting me high in the back, and it's actually really comfortable. I like it. And the nice thing, it's a nice new feature they've done, where you can move your cup holders around if you want, or if you don't want them at all, just stow them. Great seating up here. Once again, I could easily put 3 folks up here, definitely too easy. So you start doing a count here, and this is easily a 10-passenger boat with a lot of extra space on it. Finally, when you get to this bow, here's one thing I really like about this solid bow gate, which doesn't have the typical panel in it. So if this boat were to take water over the bow, if you submarined it, you wouldn't blow out the front door. And it is a solid door. I mean, like solid, well constructed. And of course, hopefully you notice I stepped out here on the bow and I've got space out on the bow. It's actually that perfect amount, about 18 inches. And these front panels, which are composite, and I'll talk about that in a minute, they actually taper under, so I actually have a little bit more leg room or foot room underneath the bow, which just makes it easier when you're getting on off the boat. If you want to get off on the port side or the starboard side, it's nice to have this little forward area or forward deck on a pontoon boat. Now, one of the things I haven't touched upon is the panels. If you notice, there's actually molded panels that not only are my fence panels, but they're my seat supports. So what this does is make a really solid seat support, a really solid panel, and reduces a lot of weight in the boat, which less weight makes it go a bit faster. One of the things I like about this is if you are not the best driver and you bounce up against a dock, these are extremely forgiving, whereas typical aluminum panel isn't so much. So I'm looking to see how these perform over time. I really like them on this boat, and it actually gives it a pretty good look. Like, it just looks different than other pontoon boats. Now, one of the things I didn't talk about as I'm going through this boat, I don't know if you notice how much space there is in this boat. Believe it or not, it is an 8-foot beam. So that's 8 foot rather than the typical 8'6" beam. So this is a little bit more narrow of a pontoon boat, but I don't really feel like I lost any of the space. Cool thing about that is it actually lets the boat lose some weight, so it actually less weight can go a little faster. And the final really cool thing I find out about this 8-foot beam, it just makes it easier to dock. I'll be doing some docking videos with this, and it just makes it that much easier versus an 8'6" tune, because most dock spaces are about 10 foot wide, so I've got that extra 6 inches. It just makes it easier to dock. I've also found it to be a little bit more nimble, although I haven't driven enough to say for sure, but it just feels a little more nimble to me. So overall, this is 22-foot boat by 8-foot beam. It is a 2 3/4 tune, so not a full triple tune. It has a pony tube that goes from the bow to here, but it also has lifting strakes on it, a new design lifting strake. So this boat really gets a lot of lift. Is zippy as all get out. I've talked about how it performs well, but let's take it for a ride and see how it really does. So just trying to see how this thing runs flat out. We've got it trimmed up rather high. I'm gonna trim it down just a little, getting a little bit of porpoise in here. But opening this thing up, and boy, it has a lot of bow rise. It gets a lot of lift with this 150, and we're running up 37, 38. I think we got a little bit more with this prop. Yeah, it's just bouncing up near 40 miles an hour, 39 miles an hour. Man, this is a fun boat. We're only at 5,200 RPM, so we could prop this out a little differently. Probably pick up 3 or 4 miles an hour. But again, running on the PTS tube, it just feels like a rocket. And again, without having that center third log or full third log, it just has a lot of pickup. And you just feel a lot of punch with that 150 that I wouldn't normally feel on a 22-foot triple tube. Once again, this GTX